Coming at you after day 7 of the Kleiman Wright trial. Today we saw Craig Wright interrogated by the plaintiffs for the entirety of the day, and it was quite an emotional day for Craig. He was brought to tears multiple times when reflecting on his relationship with Dave, and the plaintiffs tried to create a picture that Craig and Dave were partners in life and across multiple different business ventures. And in that, they were successful in doing so, as they were. But they tried to make the point that because they were partners in so many different things, that effectively implies that they created Bitcoin together, while there is no written or legal evidence of that happening. I still think for the jury or the layperson today was quite a compelling case for the plaintiff's side. But in this testimony that Craig gave, we found a few pieces of nuggets that we think are quite impactful for those that are following how this might affect the prices of the different versions of Bitcoin. One is that the Tulip Trust, which is where he has claimed to put the vast majority of the Satoshi Bitcoins, is actually an algorithm, or what he called a decentralized autonomous corporation. Perhaps a bit different than the DAOs today, Craig might argue, but it sounds somewhat similar to me. And he also said that he personally mined blocks 1 through 16. And for all of you watching this, remember that Craig is under oath here, under threat of perjury. So while he's made lots of claims to these effects over his private Slack group and in different public forums, it's quite different saying so under oath in a court of law, when he really could go to jail if he was found to be lying about any of these things. So in addition to that, we think that the fact that he called the Tulip Trust an algorithm lends credence to the n-lock time theory, which was something that was part of the original Bitcoin scripts that allows you to move coins at a future maturity date. But because that was removed from Bitcoin and still is not there in the Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash versions, and was only restored to BSV in 2018, I believe, perhaps 2019, that means that perhaps we could see coins move on BSV but not these other coins, and lends more credence to why Craig has been saying court orders will be the only thing that move BTC. So if Craig ends up moving Satoshi coins on just BSV, while that would be something that we at Unbounded think even his biggest detractors, even the digital currency groups of the world, would have to begrudgingly admit could only be done by Satoshi or someone that controlled Satoshi's coins or transactions. And at Unbounded, we think there's at least a 5 or 10% chance greater of Craig being able to do that now based on what he said today over the next few months. And for the purposes of our positions, and perhaps for many of you watching this, of course, we hope that potentially happens sooner than later, although we still think that is a lot more unlikely than it is likely. But we are really excited to see how Craig expands on a lot of these points over the coming days, especially for when he is questioned by his counsel versus the plaintiffs. So overall, compared to any other day of the trial, we think this adds the greatest kind of bullishness from our perspective in terms of being long BSV. Not so much because we think today meaningfully increases the percentage chance of something happening. We still think that's quite significant, definitely greater than 50% chance in terms of a massive rise of the price of BSV between now and the end of the trial, but more so in terms of the upside potential, where if the media covers the question of is Craig Satoshi, and a lot more people think that he is, we think that that could definitely skyrocket the price of BSV. But if Craig moves coins, I think we're talking about something insanely parabolic, many 10, 20, 30x potentially very quickly as a result of that. And we also think that could be a lot more catastrophic for the price of BTC and the rest of the crypto market. So we'll see how things play out, and we will be watching in anticipation for Craig to return to the stand, likely later today, but we shall see. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to reporting on the trial again tomorrow.